Hello everybody, this is Oliver from Neo and my mission is to introduce you into organic Japanese green tea, and today we have a special occasion. Today we are going to talk only about the second brewing. So the second brewing of green tea, there's some myth about it. Often people, when they start going into high quality green tea, they don't even know that you can brew the tea a second time, but the second time can be a blessing. The second brewing can be just as great or even better than the first one. And today what I brought with me are actually two teas. So I have, on the one hand, I have Fukamushi. So Fukamushi Sencha is this one here. Mr. Sato is doing this tea here. So this one here is from the region of Shizuoka, so 2 hours south of Tokyo. And then we have a wonderful Gyokuro here of Mr. Sakamoto from the region of Kagoshima. And this one here is a long shaded tea. Here we have a non-shaded tea. Here we have a 21 days shaded tea. And what I want to do is just to go into the second brewing. So I already have the first one of these two here. So I just brewed it for one time. We can take this later and then we're gonna go into the second brewing. But before I go and dive into the second brewing, there's one question which came up the other day, is actually how long can you wait between the first and the second brewing? And there are different myths, different stories, different things I heard as well. But what I know from the main parts, or what I heard from the main farmers also, how they talk about tea, is actually when you do the first or the second brewing, it's not really dependent on time. You can do the second one very, very late during the day. The only thing that the Japanese people say is that you shouldn't brew a tea in the evening and then rebrewing it the other day, because bad spirits of the night can actually go into your tea. It can absorb them and then you drink the bad spirits. So that's why Japanese people, as far as I know, don't tend to promote the second brewing after the night. So you should do it throughout the day. Throughout the day you can brew it as many times as you want, with as big of a distance as you want, but you shouldn't leave it throughout the night and brew it the next morning. So on this point, I hope I could already help you with this one. And now let's go into the second brewing of these two teas. So we give a little bit of water to the Gyokuro, around 150 milliliters, and we give also the same to the Fukamushi. Important is that you brew the second brewing only for a short amount of time. I tend to like 20 seconds, so after 20 seconds I already pour the tea into the glass. And this is also a nice thing, because in the first brewing the leaves, they open up, and in the second brewing then they are already open, so we can easily just pour it in. And what you can see, so just maybe take the first brewing. So this is the Gyokuro from the first brewing. So you see it's a little bit of a shiny milky tone, a little bit brighter, a little bit more yellow. And here we have the Fukamushi. They're quite similar, but the Fukamushi shows a little bit more of a green. This is due to the fact that the Fukamushi has a little bit more of surface, because through the deep steaming, which is called the Fukamushi, the tea leaves get a little bit more brittle. They can break a little bit more easy, so they give more surface to the tea, and this gives a little bit of a more intense green color. And this now you can beautifully see in the second brewing. So this is the second brewing of the Gyokuro, and this is the second brewing of the Fukamushi. So you can really see the color difference here, a really deep green, shade green color, while this one here has still a quite yellow tone in it. So this is already a main difference. And now let's see second brewing of Fukamushi. Still very sweet, kind of refreshing tones, fruity tones, a lot of fruitiness with it. I have mango, I have a little bit of green apple with this one here, even a little bit of pineapples coming through. And the second brewing of the Gyokuro. Much more this umami flavor, so this savory, sweet flavor profile. This tea is loaded with theanine, so theanine is the reason for the umami. Theanine is the reason for the sweet parts. But the second brewing, very, very beautiful, also in taste profile of around the umami. I have a little bit of kind of the savory taste profiles. I get a little bit of a nuttiness, walnut. I have then I have a little bit of kind of a spinachy. There's a little bit of a seaweedy tone with it, but a nice sweetness also swinging with it. On the fruity side, I'm much more into papaya. I'm a little bit more on the side of a normal kind of a gala apple, like a typical red apple flavor profile. Here I'm much more kind of in this green, fruity pineapple, green apple, a little bit more of this kind of fresher tones also with the tea. Pretty nice. So also the second brewing can be a very, very big blessing on these teas. But let's maybe just have a look how the first brewing compared to the second ones. So let's go for the Gyokuro. Gyokuro first brewing. Intense on the umami, with this savory sweetness directly coming through. And it stays a lot of this savory taste profile. So the second brewing seems to be a little bit lighter. The second brewing seems to be bringing out a little bit more of the fruity, the top notes. So it goes from a strong savoriness into a little bit of a lighter savoriness and bringing along a little bit more this fruity flavor profile and a little bit of a lighter kind of savoriness. Then here, the Fukamushi, first brewing. Also a little bit more on this kind of savory side. You have a little bit more of a savory note with it. You also have a lot of fruitiness, but still here in the first brewing, a little bit more of the savory, a little bit this full-bodied, kind of denser flavor profile, and then swinging into a much more of a fruity. Here you have a really intense fruity sweetness, while with this one here, you have much more. You're much more on this savory side. So what it seems also in the second brewing, that you really have more of the other notes coming out. In the first you have really the savory, a little bit more of the umami taste note coming through, and then in the second brewing leaving space for kind of a broader flavor profile. So it's quite interesting. The second brewing shows a little bit more variety in taste profiles. So definitely second brewing, also a good thing. And what you have to know as well is that the second brewing has a little bit less of caffeine. So they said normally when you're around 1 minute of brewing the green tea, you maybe extract 40 to 50% of the whole caffeine which is in the tea. But in the second, then you should get around 20 to 30 of the rest, and it can go up to 70-80% of the caffeine extracted. If you want to try to extract all of it, you really have to boil it with hot water in the end. This is something Japanese people sometimes do in the end. So there they go a little bit higher in temperature to get a little bit more of this astringent kick in the end, but also to get all the caffeine out. And normally when you do just the brewing over several steepings with a little bit of a lower temperature, then you reach maybe 70 to maybe 80% of the whole caffeine content. So this is this. I hope you like this one, and if you ever have a question, do not hesitate to ask me. I'm here to answer them. Bye bye, have a great day, see you soon.